Hi yoga friends, and welcome to your practice. This is a whole body stretch, pelvis and hips, spine, shoulders, neck, whole body, designed to help you let go of tension, release any stress in the body and the mind, and overall help you feel really relaxed. And all you're going to need is a blanket. And if you don't have a blanket, you can get your yoga block. If you don't have a block or a blanket, that's fine too. You can still practice. Hi, I'm Rachel Young, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, as I release a regular video to help you practice yoga at home. And so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is come to lie down on your back, head on the floor, knees bent, feet flat on the ground. So find some comfort here. Feel like you can relax the back here. It's not often, unless you do a lot of yoga, it's not often that you lie flat on your back on the floor, and it's very good for your back, very good for the spine. So settling here for a moment, perhaps closing the eyes if that feels relaxing for you, softening the muscles of the face. Relaxing the belly. And you may notice the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. And as with all of the breathing that we do in the physical postures, the nose is how we breathe, the lips are closed. So inhaling, exhaling through the nose, and the mouth is closed. Softening the jaws, softening the muscles in the forehead, relaxing the tongue in the mouth. And then stretching out both your legs onto your mat, so both legs stretched out. Then stretch out both arms behind you, above your head, relax them on the floor. And then, instead of letting the whole body be soft, engage your legs. So feel like you've switched them on. Big toes point up to the ceiling. And turn the arms in the shoulder sockets so the thumbs rest on the floor and the palms face in. Taking an inhale breath. As you exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in towards your body. Interlace the hands and take the hands around the shin, pulling the knee in. Then inhale to extend the leg, extend both arms back to that first position. Exhale, right knee now comes in. Interlace hands, wrap the hands around the shin, pull the knee in. Inhale, extend leg and arms. Exhale, left knee, hands around the shin. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl the knee in, right knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee comes in. This time hold it there. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring the right knee in to meet the left. You can take the hands around both knees or shins. Then take the hands on top of the knees and circle both knees in one direction, creating a circular shape, massaging the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, the lower back. Inhaling for half a circle away from you. Exhale as you bring the knees in. Inhale, half a circle, knees press away. Exhale, knees come in. Inhale. Exhale, switching to the opposite direction. Inhale, knees press away. Exhale, knees come in. Inhale away. Exhale in. Inhale, knees away. Exhale in. Staying here, bringing the knees into the center. Then take both of your arms out to the side if you've got room. Get your shoulders and arms in line with the hands. And then taking an inhale here in the center. Exhale, drop both knees to the left. Inhale back to the center. Keep the knees hugging in the whole time. Exhale to the right. Inhale center. Exhale left. So the twist on the breath. Inhale center. Exhale right. Breathing through the nose. Inhale center. One more time both sides. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale center. Taking both feet onto the ground, knees bent upwards. Keeping your left foot where it is, place your right ankle on top of your left thigh so the right knee turns out. Bring your arms down by your side and press the right knee away from you towards the end of the mat. Flex that right foot. If that feels like enough of a hip stretch on that right side for you, you can stay there. Or lift the left foot off the floor, bringing the knee in towards you, and wrap your hands around the left thigh, interlacing your fingers. Flexing both feet now. Pulling the left knee towards your left chest and sending the right knee away. Taking deep breaths into that right hip. Nice deep breaths. On your next exhale, lower the left foot to the floor, lower the right foot to the floor. Placing the left ankle now on the right thigh and press the left knee away from you. If this is where you were on the right side, stay here on the left. If on the other side you brought your knee in, then let's do that on this side. Taking the hands around the back of the right thigh, pulling the right knee in towards the right side of your chest. Flexing both your feet. Sending your breath into that left hip. On your next exhale, release both feet to the floor. Then bring both knees in towards you. Roll onto one side of your body, and I will meet you on hands and knees. So coming onto your hands and knees. Knees underneath hips, shoulders above wrists. Untuck your toes and press the fronts of your ankles into the floor. Taking a few cat-cows on the breath. As you inhale, lengthen the chest between the arms, tailbone tips up to the ceiling. Still pulling in the lower belly, looking forwards. Exhale, curl the pelvis the opposite way. Lift the belly button, lift the chest, let the chin drop. Inhale. Tilt your sitting bones up to the sky, chest extends between the arms, looking forwards. Exhale, lifting the navel center, letting the chin drop, shoulders away from ears. Inhale, looking forwards. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Last time, exhale. Coming into child's pose, bringing the big toes together, taking the knees slightly wider than hips, sitting the hips back onto your heels. Extend both hands forwards and bring your forehead onto the ground. Or if you can't reach the floor, place your forehead on a block or a blanket. Inhale here, lengthen the hands forward, lifting the elbows off the floor. Exhale, lift the belly softly towards the spine. Inhale, send your sitting bones back towards your toes. Exhale, lift the abdomen in towards the back. Inhale, extend your fingertips and thumb pads forwards. Exhale, widening across the collarbones. Inhale, come up halfway. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Inhale, lift the chest. And as you exhale, lower, placing your left hand on top of your right. Bring the head to the floor or your block or blanket. And now we're stretching in the left side of the torso. Inhale, send the left hip towards the left heel. Exhale, gently lift the lower belly in. Inhale, extend the left hand a bit further. Exhale, shoulder away from ear. Inhale to the center. And exhale over to the left side. Inhale here, lift the chest. And exhale, right hand on top of the left. Lowering your head to the left onto the floor, blanket or block. Inhale here. Sit the right hip towards the heel. Exhale, lift the belly softly. Inhale, extend through the right arm and hand. Exhale. Inhale to the center. Exhale here. Inhale, lift up to hands and knees. And exhale. Walk your knees back a little bit further. And then come into child's pose again. Inhale, come all the way up. And we're going to kneel on our heels. So come to sit on your heels. If kneeling on your heels is problematic for your knees, then you can sit higher on blocks and that will take the pressure out of your knees. If you have strain in your ankles when you're kneeling, roll up a blanket or a towel and you can place that underneath the fronts of your ankles and that will help you to kneel. And again, you might still need to sit up on a block as well. So we're going to stretch the sides of the body all the way up into the armpits and the shoulders. So from here, inhale, bring the arms up, interlace your fingers and thumbs, bend the elbows, turn the hands so the palms face up, and then stretch the arms. See if you can straighten the arms. Even if you bring the arms further forward, you don't have to bring them all the way back behind your ears if that's not within your range of motion, your range of movement in the shoulders. Have a soft engagement of the abdomen. If you're someone who tends to flare your ribs out, lower the lower ribs. So it's like you're joining the pelvic bowl and the lower ribs together. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And then release the arms down. Take the right hand over to the right, left hand over the ear, left arm I should say, and drop the right shoulder away from the ear. Lift up through the left side. So lift the left side of your torso, but keep the left hip down. And then come back to the center, reach the right arm up, left hand comes down now. Inhale, lifting up. Keep reaching up through that right side. Breathing into the side body. Come back to the center. Now interlace your fingers in front of you. Extend your arms out in front of you. And very, very slightly round your back. So it's not a big rounding in the back. We don't want to accentuate perhaps the posture that you might have already if you've got a rounded upper back. And then lift the sternum, that's the chest bone. Lift it up. Bring both arms up. Press both palms up again. So turn the hands, palms up. And then you're going to release your hands and circle the arms down. Take them as back far as possible. Interlacing the fingers and thumbs behind you. So interlace your fingers and thumbs. Then bend the elbows. Don't try to straighten the arms as such yet. And instead, exaggerate the rolling forward of your shoulders and then roll them back as much as possible. See if you can feel the shoulder blades moving closer together. Then place the thumbs onto the back of the pelvis. Press the thumbs in gently and lift the chest. You might even have to press your feet into the floor. Lift the chest so you're coming into a mild back bend here. Take your gaze up. And you might want to take your hands behind you onto the floor. I turn my fingers so they point towards the knees, but if that's not in your range of movement, then you can take your hands out to the side. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulder heads away from you. Take the gaze up, but keep the head lifted. We're not dropping the head back. Press the hands into the floor and then come back to the center. Roll the shoulders. And then we're going to come into downward dog. So let's do it in a certain way. Taking the hands to the floor, tuck the toes under, then walk your knees back about 3 or 4 inches from where you are. Press the hands into the floor and move the hips back towards the heels. And see if you can come into downward dog from this position, keeping the arms diagonal to the floor. Lifting the hips. Taking your feet quite wide, wider than you would normally, and let's bend the knees to get a really long spine. So instead of trying to jam the knees back, bend the knees, but keep the tops of your thighs, those hip creases, lifting up. Press down through the base of your big toes, the mound of the foot, that ball of the foot on both sides. Engage your thighs, so switch your thigh muscles on the front, those quadricep muscles. And if you know your bandhas, lifting the pelvic floor, the root lock, the mula bandha, and pulling the uddiyana bandha back. So that's the very lower part of your belly, the pit of your belly, pulls back towards the spine. Inhale here, lengthening the spine, bending the knees. And then we're going to lift the heels, look between the hands, and walk your feet towards the hands as far as you can. Keep the hands on the floor until you can't any longer, but come all the way to the top of your mat. Take your feet nice and wide and bend the knees, relaxing the belly and ribs onto your thighs. And you can either rest your hands on the floor or you could take your hands around your elbows, maybe swing the torso gently side to side. Then release the hands, slowly rolling up with bent knees. And as you come closer to the top, rolling the shoulders back. And then we're going to bend the knees, roll all the way down, all the way. From here, step your left foot back behind you as far as you can, coming into a lunge. And take the back knee to the floor. Keep your front foot pressing into the ground and come up to a lunge. Placing your hands on your right thigh, that front thigh, and press the back shin into the floor. Bring your pelvis back so you've got more of an alignment with the pelvis above the back knee. And then feel the difference in that left hip. So it might be going more into the quadricep muscle here on that back leg, as well as the hip flexor. And then we're going to let the hips move forward now as well. So going deeper into the hip flexor muscle. Inhale, reach your arms up, soften the neck. And as you exhale, drop the right hand down, reaching up through the left side. So a little bit of leg activation here as well, which is always a good thing, I think. Inhale, bring the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the floor. Then from here, you might need to come to your fingertips, or if you have blocks, you can put your hands on top of your blocks. You're going to point the toes up, moving the hips back. Keep the belly in. So you're not sitting on your back heel. You've got your pelvis above the left knee. Flex the right foot, folding over that outstretched leg. And as with all forward bends, we want to switch on the quadricep muscles of the extended leg. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, lift the chest. You're not trying to get your nose to the floor unless that's within easy access for you. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend the front knee, bringing your body forwards. Then taking the left hand flat to the floor, towards the edge of your mat. Lift the chest, turn your upper body to the right and reach the right arm up. Keep that right knee coming in, try not to roll onto the outside edge of that front foot. That's a different posture. And then reach the right arm back, wrapping the arm behind you. See if you can get the back of the hand around the left side of your waist. Pulling that right shoulder back for a front stretch on that shoulder. And then reach the right arm up and over. Point the fingers towards the front. And bring the right hand inside the right foot. And then wiggle your right foot out to the right a bit wider. So now we're getting more into the right hip. From here, we're not going anywhere actually. So from here, relax. Focus on your breath. Make sure you've got your wrists underneath your shoulders, like as if you were doing plank. And hug that right knee in. If we were doing a more dynamic practice, we might tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. But we're not doing a dynamic practice today. Lovely. Now walk that right foot back in. Tuck the back toes under, and we're going to step the right foot back to downward dog. Taking a nice wide position again with the feet, bending the knees. Press the hands into the mat, finger pads, thumb pads connecting. Then lift the heels, lift the hips, but try not to come forward in the upper body. So stay with the long back. You're not bringing your upper body forward at all. Let the heels drop towards the floor. Lovely, everyone. You're doing good work at home there. Breath, connection. Let the head relax if your head's lifting. Drop the head. And then walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Take the hands to the shins. Inhale, lift the chest, extending the front of your torso forwards. And exhale, fold. Stepping your right foot back this time for a lunge. Taking it back as far as you can take it. Then bring the knee to the floor. Untuck your toes. Lifting up, bringing your hands onto your thigh. Press the back ankle into the floor. And bring the pelvis back. So again, notice the difference between being far forward with the hips and then coming back. You can tell, for me, I can feel that it goes more into my thigh like this, as well as the hip flexor. So feel it here, feel the difference. Start to become aware of how different postures affect different parts of your body. And then moving the hips forwards now, coming more into the hip flexor. Sliding the left hip back, outer right hip forwards, reaching your arms up. Inhale, palms together, maybe gaze up. As you exhale, take the left hand towards the floor, reaching up and over through the right for a side stretch. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, hands to the floor. Keep the right hand out to the right. Left knee above the ankle. We're going to lift the chest and then exhale, twist to your left. Turn the torso to the left, reaching the left arm up. And then perhaps if you did on the other side, rolling the left shoulder in to bring the left arm behind you, wrapping the back of the left forearm and hand around the waist on the right side. Placing your head in a position that feels comfortable for your neck, so maybe it's gazing to the side rather than up, or maybe it's even down towards the floor. Inhale, extend your fingertips towards the back foot, and then bring the arm all the way over the ear and down to the floor inside your left foot, walking the left foot out to the left, still pointing your toes forward, and bring your hands as if you were doing plank. You might need, I expect, to move your knee back a little bit on that back leg. Lift the chest here, so we're not sinking into the shoulders, pressing the hands into the floor, hugging the left knee in towards the upper arm. So a little bit of shoulder stabilization here, tiny bit of core perhaps. And then walk your left foot in, back to the center, point the toes up. You might need to place your hands on blocks or fingertips to the floor or palms to the floor as you fold over that front leg. Hips move back, so the right hip is now above the right knee. Keep pushing the arch of the left foot forwards. Lovely. Now come forward, bend that front knee, tuck your back toes under, come to downward dog here. So taking a regular downward dog now. And then bring your knees to the floor. Briefly coming into a child's pose here. Send your hips back towards your heels, stretching the arms forwards. And then inhale to come up. We're going to now sit on the blanket or block that you have at home. If you don't have anything, don't worry. Maybe a cushion even, a firm cushion. I'm going to use my blanket. So take it to a position, into a height rather, that helps you lift your pelvis, hips off the floor. Ideally, really, what that does is it helps you lift your spine and extend your back, when sometimes you might be more likely to round if you have your seat directly onto the floor. So from here, extending both legs out in front of you for Dandasana. So Dandasana, staff pose. The heels of the hands are pressing into the floor. Legs are together. Toes and feet are active, so flex the feet. Press the balls of the feet away from you. Pull the lower belly back and engage your thighs, the front thighs. Direct the throat towards the back of the neck and take your gaze towards your big toes. Keeping this here, bend your right knee and take that foot over the left leg. Inhale, lift the left arm for Matsyendrasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. This is a twist. And taking the right hand behind you. So we want to really stay lifted through the upper back. So lift the chest, lift the armpits. And try not to jam your head all the way around. We don't want to put tension into the neck. So the turn comes from lower down and from the center of the spine. And if you're stiff in your upper back, you might not be able to turn so much from there, or maybe you are. So we all have different parts of the body that are more open and more closed than different other parts of our body. So let's come back to the breath. Inhale, press the base of the spine into the floor, lifting up through the crown. And exhale, turning from the center. Inhale back to the center. Extend your right leg. Inhale both arms. Lift up. And then exhale, lower the hands. Bend the left knee, taking the foot across the leg. Reach the right arm up and take the elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale, lift up tall, keeping that right leg active, and exhale, turn. Inhale, base of the spine, connecting with the ground, crown lifting up. Exhale, turning from the center. Not crunching the side of the neck, keeping the chest tall, the breath smooth. Inhale, turn the head to the center. Exhale, turn the body, extend the left leg. Now from here, we're going to cross the shins, so normal cross-legged position, and bring the arms up. I'm going to actually turn so you can see me at the front, from the front side, and then I'm going to show you from the back as well what we're going to do. So in this cross-legged position, take your arms out to the side. Roll your right shoulder forwards. So you're really rotating the whole arm and hand until the thumb and the palm are facing up. Then bend that right elbow. Take the hand around the back. So I'll show you all the way around the back. Take the hand up as high as you can, up the upper back. And then the left hand pats the upper back, and your fingertips might touch. You're not trying to interlace the fingers or anything. Just press the pads of the fingers in together. If you can't get there, you can grab hold of your vest and use that to pull apart. If you have a yoga belt, you can also put a yoga belt inside your hands. So this is a really good one for opening the shoulders. What I see quite a lot in this posture is the top elbow knocks the head out to the side or forward. So lift the left shoulder up and away from the ear. Bring the head into the center. Press the right shoulder back. Shoulder blade rotates in towards the spine. And then release. We're going to do the other side. So take both arms out. Roll the left shoulder in, bringing the arm behind the back, taking the hand up. Then press that left shoulder back, reach the right arm up, perhaps tapping the fingertips or whole of the fingers together. If not, grab hold of your vest or use your yoga strap to pull apart. And again, lifting that right elbow up and away from the head so the head can be in the center, free of any contact with the arm. Rolling, rotating the left shoulder blade in towards the spine. Connecting with your breath here. And then release both arms down. We're going to do a really mild back bend now, which will help open up your hip flexors. If you don't have a block or blanket at home, you can do a regular bridge. So I'm going to give all options now. So this first one is if you have a block or a blanket. So I'll show you with the blanket. I'm folding my blanket up to another height, so a higher height, which is nice and soft. So you do want some height here. If your blanket is quite thin, you're best off using a block or doing bridge. So this is the first one with the blanket. So all you're going to do is a very mild back bend. You can either stay here with your pelvis on the blanket. You can extend one leg. If you have issues with your lower back, I recommend not extending both legs. So just stay with one leg at a time. Staying there for maybe 10 breaths on both sides, so you can count to yourself. You can do exactly the same thing with a block. So I'll show you the block version. You place the block underneath the back of your pelvis. And you can either stay here or extending one leg and then swapping to the other side. Let's have 10 breaths, up to 10 breaths on both legs if you're doing this version. Or if you've already come into bridge, taking 10 breaths there. If you're taking bridge, big toes in line with inner heels. Pressing the feet into the ground, lift the pelvis up, shuffling your shoulders all the way under your back, and ideally interlacing the fingers underneath. Squeeze the inner thighs together, lifting the upper back towards the chin. Keep the head in the center. And then if you're in bridge, taking between 5 and 10 breaths. And then slowly coming out of your posture, whether you're in bridge, if you're on your block or your blanket, removing your props. Keep your feet onto the ground for a moment, let your spine settle back to this neutral position. Then take your feet as wide as your mat, left to the left, right to the right, and take your knees to the right and stretch out your arms. Turn your head to the left. And then extend your right arm up behind you, bend the elbow, and take the back of the left hand on top of the right palm. And let it all go. Let the whole body soften. Come back to the center. Keep your feet wide. Swap the left and the right hand. So you've got the back of the right hand on top of the left. Turn your head to the right. Let it all go. Come back to the center. Place your feet onto the floor. Bring both knees in towards you. Maybe rolling side to side, gently, slowly. Then extend your leg onto the floor nice and wide, and the right leg, left and right leg. Extend your arms out away from you. Bringing the shoulder blades onto the back. Perhaps closing the eyes here now for Shavasana. So I'll be here with you for around a minute. And I do recommend staying for longer in Shavasana if you have the time. Even 5 minutes of Shavasana is beneficial. So letting the face become soft, eyeballs relax, the neck softens, the jaws soften, and the tongue relaxes within the mouth. The chest releases, the belly releases, the groins. Arms and hands are heavy, torso is heavy, the pelvis, legs and feet, the front of your body, back of your body, the whole body resting, mind resting, the breath is settled and smooth. welcome you to stay here for longer. Or if you do need to finish, let's close the practice together, taking your feet onto the floor. Bring your knees in, rolling onto one side of your body. Coming up to sit. Crossing your legs or kneeling. Closing the eyes if that feels appropriate for you. Keep tall, lifting tall with softness. Placing the palms together at the heart center. Bowing third eye towards heart center. In gratitude for your presence, showing up today to practice with me. Thank you. Namaste.